Hi, in this video we're going to get into how to set up your experience section on LinkedIn. Now, you might want to ask yourself, why is it important to have an experience section filled out on LinkedIn? And the main reason we want to do that is we want to build up your credibility. So if you claim to be an expert at something, or if you claim to be a professional in a particular field, having a filled out experience section allows someone who looks at your profile to immediately go, this person probably knows their stuff. Another key reason you want to fill out your experience section is that it allows you to get into a little bit more detail about the things you did within the various roles you were engaged in. Now you might want to ask yourself, how do you fill out your experience section? And the simple suggestion that I want to give you is to first make sure that the position is linked to the right company page so that the branding is correct. So for instance, that let's say if you work for Coca-Cola, that is linked to the Coca-Cola icon so that you immediately see the right branding. And secondly, I want you to focus on making sure that you write a nice description about what you did in the various roles that you were engaged in and what results you managed to get. Now, this is particularly important with the current role that you're focusing on. So when you're putting together your experience section, I would suggest that you put most of your effort into the roles that you're currently engaged in. Now, to show you a couple of examples of how that can be done, I'm now going to share my screen and get into two case studies. Now, in this person's case, in Tim Jacobs' case, here you see that for his experience section, he has made it rather simple. He has just listed the companies that he is involved in. You see the logo here on the left side. You see a little bit of description of what it is that he has done. And he has just made sure that it's filled out from top to bottom. Now here you also see a couple of listings that are not linked to the right company page. And the reason I wanted to use this as a case study is particular because of situations like these. There are roles that you might have had in the past where the work that you did was with an organization that did not have a LinkedIn company page, and that means that you will not be able to link it, and that's fine. I would only suggest that you put most of your efforts into what you're currently involved in, and make sure that if you are a business owner, that you make sure that you have a dedicated company page that has a logo so that you're able to have the right branding. To show you a slightly different example on how this can be filled out, here is the profile of Tracy Jones. Now here you see, if we scroll down a little bit further in her profile, that she has taken the time of filling in her experience section with not only the right branding, which you see here, a little bit of description and bonus points. Here you see a breakdown of some documents that back up what it is that she is involved in. Now this is something that a few people choose to do. I would strongly suggest that you want to do this yourself, that you basically add additional material that backs up what it is that you are currently involved in. However, you might be in a situation where you don't have anything to add. So what I suggest that you might want to do in those cases is try to document what it is that you're doing, maybe add a couple of files, create a couple of files that break down how you work. Even if you're not in that situation, I would strongly suggest that you try to create a strategy for adding additional files as you get into your role and as you learn more about the work that you do. You see that she has done this for not only her current roles, but also, if you go a little bit further, she also done it for some of her past roles. And the benefit of laying it out like this is that you immediately get a deeper understanding of a person's responsibilities, the things that they have been involved in, and you learn more about them. So here, what you're able to pick up from looking at the profile is that you actually get a deeper understanding of her as a person versus just looking at the roles themselves. For instance, here you see that she has been a squadron commander in the US Air Force. Now, things like this might not seem directly relevant to what she is involved in. If you look at the very, very top, she's a speaker, author, and she's a publisher. And she mentions veteran. Now, that is not necessarily directly relevant to publishing, but it's relevant to who she is as a person. So when we put together our LinkedIn profile, I would strongly suggest we try to think about the type of impression that we want to give to people. Now, in summary, what I suggest you might want to focus on when it comes to putting together your experience section is to give the right professional impression. Now, there's a variety of different ways that you can do that. I would strongly suggest that you try to identify the exact impression that you want to give, and then try to break down the different things that you have done in your career so you're able to build up the right impression that you want the viewer of your profile to have of you. Now, I would also suggest that you would not be overly critical of some of the roles that you've done in the past, where you might think, oh, this is not a perfect fit with what it is that I'm currently involved in. Because someone might be looking at your profile and go, oh, I have experience doing that. I'm able to relate to this person because that person have done something similar to what I've done in my life. Ultimately, putting together your experience section is a way for someone to learn about you as a person, the things that you've done in your life. Don't underestimate that, because it's a great opportunity for you to share yourself and to let someone else get an understanding of who you are as a person. And the simplest way to do that is just explain what it is that you've done in your life. Fill it out. If you're able to add additional files, brilliant, please do that. Okay, I hope you found that useful. I'll get back to you with more videos on how you can grow your business.